National Grid delivers electricity to millions of customers in the Northeast. We have 9,000 miles of transmission line and 70,000 miles of distribution line. Our job is when you flip the switch is to make sure the lights come on. But at the heart of what we do every day is keeping our crews, our community, and our customers safe. It's not just a motto, it's our culture, it's in our DNA. This video is to show you the dangers of coming in contact with live power lines. This trailer is built to represent the typical distribution system in your neighborhood. It's fed from a generator producing 120 volts, which backfed through a transformer will give you 7,600 volts. That's a common voltage in our electrical system. Our live line crew consists of hot stick linemen and foremen, qualified to work voltages up to 64,000 volts. Remember, this is a professional demonstration. Please don't do any of this at home. Notice, besides the hard hat, glasses, and boots, we're required to wear rubber gloves and sleeves, along with fire retardant clothing while working in the energized area. These gloves and sleeves are rated for 15,000 volts, while our hot sticks are rated for 100,000 volts. Without this equipment and our specialized training, we would not be within 10 feet of the energized lines. So what happens if something or someone without the proper protective equipment comes in contact with live power lines? That's what we're going to show you next. Animals can be a big problem for National Grid. Squirrels, raccoons, and large birds have caused many power outages. Electricity is always looking for a path to ground. It travels along our lines, but is insulated from the poles. When an animal bridges that insulation, it becomes a part of that path to ground, and here's what happens. That arc trips the fuse, and that's what makes your lights go out. Our next demonstration will be with a household glove. Notice the difference with a lineman's glove. This is much thinner. The hot dog in the glove represents your finger. We're going to energize the line to 7,600 volts to show that that rubber glove offers no protection. With no protection, you become the path to ground. Hot dog, anyone? Downed trees and limbs can pose a huge danger when they come in contact with utility lines. Homeowners should never attempt to remove trees or limbs that have come in contact with the lines. A damp or wet tree can deliver a deadly shock to anybody who comes in contact with it. Again, notice that our linemen are using proper personal protective equipment, gloves, sleeves, and an insulated stick for protection. An aluminum ladder is very conductive, making it extremely dangerous when it comes near electricity. Anyone who paints or does home improvements should look up before they go up. Placing a ladder on a hot conductor can result in a fatality. 10 feet of clearance must be maintained from our wires. That's the law. Telephone and cable wires often share poles with electric wires. They are located below the energized lines. During a storm, they may become wrapped around our conductors. These low voltage wires may look insulated, but they will not protect you from the primary voltage. Do not become the path to ground. Maintain a 10-foot minimum clearance at all times to down power lines. Notice the arc that is made when a cable wire comes in contact with over 7,000 volts to a grounded fence. Next, we'd like to demonstrate a firefighter's rubber boot walking on an energized power line. Although the boot is made of rubber, there is not enough protection against our primary voltage. Our gloves are tested before every use and kept in a clean, dry storage area. This boot has holes in it and oil stains, making it very unsafe to wear on or near energized power lines. Even in an emergency situation, first responders like police and firefighters need to keep a safe distance from power lines. Next, we want to demonstrate how a wet fire hose can conduct electricity. It's especially important that firefighters be aware of the energized conductors and down wires for their safety. National Grid offers a specialized online safety training program for first responders. Next, we're going to talk about generators. Due to the number of storms and outages, more and more customers are buying generators. Generators not hooked up properly are very dangerous to linemen, firemen, and everyone else near down wires. A 120-volt generator that's not properly connected through a transfer switch can backfeed our line to voltages over 7,000 volts. If you're not sure that your generator is properly hooked up, please call a licensed electrician to look at it. For the safety of linemen and the public, please have your generator hookup inspected, and if there are any doubts, turn your main breaker off when using the generator. Due to ice, drunk driving, and now more than ever, cell phones, we have an increasing number of cars hitting our poles. If our wires do wind up in your car, we strongly recommend that you stay in the car until help arrives. If you must exit the car because of smoke, fire, or other life-threatening hazards, you should do so by jumping clear, keep your feet together, never touch the ground and the car at the same time. Once out, stay clear of the vehicle. We will now energize this car to 7,600 volts. Again, notice our lineman is wearing his gloves, sleeves, and using an insulated hot stick tool. Without this safety equipment, by touching the car, he would be a path to ground. This would be very dangerous, and he could be fatally electrocuted. Electricity is very dangerous. Stay at least 10 feet away from our power lines at all times. Assume any down wire is live, and call National Grid or your local police or fire department immediately. Together, we will keep our communities safe.